What's going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for my haul for September of 2021. Better late than never. Let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. So, better late than never. Today is my haul for September of 2021. I did have a couple of more boxes coming in, but everything with the postal service is running late in the entire country, I'm sure the entire world. So I figured let's go ahead and do it instead of waiting on those boxes. Now, some of these books I have already done overviews of, and I'll put the links above so you can check on those videos if you want. But let's go ahead and get started with some of these stacks here. First up, from my buddy Freddie, all the way from Puerto Rico, are two independent books by Tillie Walden. Tillie Walden, I got hooked on her storytelling from the pages of Spinning. That was published here in America by First Second. These look like they are published by Avery Hill. And one retails, this one here, retails for $17.99, and this one $16.99. This is I Love This Part, and this one is A City Inside. No idea what either of these books are. This one looks to be in black and white, but I'm a huge fan of independent titles. I did like Tillie Walden Spinning. I have no business being an ice skater, or I haven't even seen that anime. What was it called? Yuri on Ice. Even though my buddy TikTok Tina told me to watch it. But anyway, she had me hooked. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. It's one of the best books I read in 2020. Almost made it to my top 10 list. So I figured I'd give these a shot. This one looks really interesting. I kind of flipped a little bit through here, and it looks like it's done in the style of nothing but splash pages. And I only flipped through like the first 10 pages, and I don't know if the whole book is like this, and if it's about two giant girls, but I do love the monochrome look to it, just a few colors. And it's Tillie Walden, independent book. That's all you needed to say. Now, he also sent me The Anchor Volume 2. And he sent me Volume 1 last year, I think in 2020, and he messaged me saying that he's got Volume 3, and that's so nice, man. I really appreciate that. So this is written by Phil Hester, and it's drawn by Brian Churillo. No idea what this is about, and honestly, I probably won't read these until Volume 3 comes in. I think he said Volume 3 wraps up the series. This is published by Boom Studios, though. So, Volume 2 of The Anchor. And I do love Phil Hester's art, but he is just a writer on this. Now, he also sent just a few comic books here, and these are single issues. Really dig this artwork in this one here. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. Love that cover. And The Protector here. So these are single issues. I'll be honest, I've never heard of either of this series, so thank you so much. Now, he did send me something. This book right here, with a funny note. I can't read it because I promised I wouldn't read it. But all I know about this damn book is that people hated it before it came out. I've not read it. I don't know what this is about. So, I'm not the biggest fan of the art style. This is just not for me. But because it's Freddie, I'm going to do him a solid and read it sometime. This is not at the top of the pile for sure. I don't like this art style. The book is, like, it's in a different, smaller scale format than your regular trade paperbacks. So it's the young adult line from DC Comics. Does have a positive blurb up here, though. Witty, powerful, and revolutionary. From the New York Times bestselling author of the Bell series. So these two books came from Alan Bay. He self-published both of these books. This is The Sacred Guardians, and this is Destiny, The Unexplainables. So this is a comic book. This is a single issue right here. And he wrote a really nice letter to me. Really nice guy. I haven't had a chance to read these, and I love when people send me their self-published work. I have a whole stack of books that people send me, and I read them from time to time. Because if you're kind enough to reach out to me and send me your self-published work, the least I can do is read your stuff. So I really appreciate this, Alan. This is so damn kind. The artwork in this one looks really nice. It looks like something honestly all ages, which I wouldn't mind sharing with my kids, but I probably got to give it a read through first because I'm not sure. Sometimes, how do I put it? The innocent artwork lures you into a state of false security. And, you know, there's several comics like that. But this, honestly, it looks innocent enough. Really dig the artwork. Looks cartoony, up my alley. A fresh breath of air, if you will. But this is his work right here, Sacred Guardians and Destiny, the Unexplainables. Now, I've already done an overview of the Deathstroke Rebirth Omnibus. This one's a thick one. Thicker than a Snicker, baby. Thicker than a stack of divorce papers. I got plenty of them. But if you want to see my comments on this and you want to see the build of the book, definitely check the link above to take you to that video. Okay, so many of you wanted me to check this out. It finally came in. Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. So all I know about this is that when I was doing a horror hidden gems last year, people were like, dude, how did you not add this? Or my top 13 favorite horror graphic novels of all time. Because I hadn't read it. I don't know anything about this. All I know is people told me it's an anthology, that I would love it. So it's one I plan on reading this year. I may not get to it because I have such a huge stack of books before the end of October. But I promise I will read it sometime by end of year. Motor Crush by Brendan Fletcher and Cameron Stewart and Bab Starr. So this is the same team that went on to do Batgirl, Burnside, and which is still getting an omnibus, hasn't been canceled yet. But this is one that was suggested to me a couple of months ago, and I wanted to go ahead and purchase it. So I know nothing about this other than the cover, which looks very similar to that of Batgirl Burnside. So I'll be reading this sometime here in the near future. Stray Dogs. The least I say about this, the better. This will probably be on a video here towards the end of the month. And honestly, without hyping this book up too much, this is probably one of my favorite reads of 2020. Holy crap, was this engaging, and it just lured me in. The artwork here is what I wanted to show here in the next couple of pages and leave it at that. And I can talk a little bit more about it when I talk about my favorite horror reads that I've read this month, or recent horror reads, whatever I end up calling that video. But I did have Tony Fleece on the live stream on, I believe it was on Thursday, to talk about this book and its upcoming project. If you want to go and check out that interview, put the link up above. But yes, if you've not read Stray Dogs, top notch. Vagrant Queen. So I picked up some books here based on a lot of the recommendations I've gotten throughout the months, whether it's through Hidden Gems or somebody just leaving a comment. So this is all written by Magdalene Visaggio and illustrated by Jason Smith. Published by Vault Comics, and they did the Heathen series, which I hope one day gets an oversized hardcover collection. But they also did the Wasted Space series, and everything I've read from them so far has been really good. So when somebody told me about this particular series, I found this at a comic book store pretty cheap, so I decided to pick it up. But I remember the name because I started writing down these list of books that you all have been suggesting me. So thank you all for that. And at the same place, I found Imaginary Drugs with this character right here. It looks like Totoro and these anime looking characters. So here's your table of contents. I have no idea what this is about. This one wasn't suggested to me. I just decided to pick it up on a whim because it looked interesting and they had a big sell on these type of books. But this looks like an anthology done by different creators and probably set around the same location or the same type of characters. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it's up my alley just by having all these different creators right here, and then the artwork just looking so different from one story, or I'm sorry, even from one page to the other. I kind of dig this. So this was published by IDW, yeah, and this one retails for $24.99. But like I said, I found a good deal on it, so I decided to pick it up. Now, one of my viewers, Kate, sent me Moonstruck. This is volumes 1 and 2. She wanted me to check it out. She said it would be really good for my Hidden Gems. Written by Grace Ellis and Shay Beagle doing the artwork. I don't know what this is. She just said to read it. Don't look at the back to read what it's about. Just read the story and you know, be honest with what I think. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. I'll be reading the story and seeing if it fits into my hidden gems. No idea what any of this is. I really like these covers though. They have a animated look to them. But as a promise, I'm not reading what it's about. Just kind of flipping through here to look at the art. It looks different though. Oh, I like that. I like the color schemes in this. Okay, this might be up my alley. At first, looking at some of this stuff, I was thinking, maybe it's this new cartoon style that I'm not the biggest fan of, but sometimes the stories drive me more than the artwork. So if it's got a good story, I'll definitely check this out. This is Moonstruck. Challengers of the Unknown by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sell. One of my wonderful viewers, I think it was Rick Nelson, decided to send me a copy of this, and I realized I didn't have a copy, so I had to go and buy one. I found this one at half-price books here in America. This is a used copy of it, of course, and this is the first time that Jeff Loeb and Tim Sell worked together before Batman the Haunted Knight, and of course Long Halloween and Dark Victory, because a lot of people thought that, oh, these guys have always been working together. I believe it was Archie Goodwin that put both of them together, the editor, and this is the first work they did. Now, Tim Sell's artwork looks a little bit different, a little rough around the edges, than his work on Batman Long Halloween, or by the time we get into Dark Victory. But really digging this stuff. I remember reading this stuff when it was coming out in single issues, just because I didn't have any clue who the Challengers of the Unknown were, and I wanted to get to know them more. And I believe this was the first stuff right outside of the Awesome Studios stuff that Jeff Loeb did. So outside of the stuff that he was doing with Rob, it wasn't Awesome Studios. I think it was just Extreme Studios at the time. I can't remember how many times Liefeld changed his studio's name. But anyway, outside of that, he started working on this book and then eventually went into other DC books. And then, of course, made it over to Marvel, and the rest is history. But this is Challengers of the Unknown. It is a standard size hardcover, but beautiful nonetheless. And speaking of Long Halloween, here's Jeff Loeb and Tim Sell again. I've done an overview of this book, and on October 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do a Long Halloween type of episode. Me and a group of friends are going to get together and talk about the Long Halloween comic, compare it to the animated movies. They just came, I think it's one movie that just came out. And then we'll also have a giveaway. We'll be giving away a copy of the Long Halloween Deluxe Edition. And that's Dime Breed Collectors is actually helping me with that. It's going to be giving away a copy of the Long Halloween Deluxe Edition. So that will be a live show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, let's keep going. The folks at Tango Comics were kind enough to reach out to me, and they have a couple of books that they sent me. I asked them if they do collected editions, and they were like, yeah, we got you. So the first one here we're looking at is the Infinium. This is, again, Tango Comics. You have different creators in here. You have Arias Hernandez, Emilio Ciunti, Rach Lebeter, Paul Morales, Alex Zeef, just to name a few of the creators in here. There's a forward and an introduction by Rich Perez, who is the co-founder of Tango Comics. And this is a new comic company to me. I've not read anything by them. But I love finding new independent artists and writers out there, because you never know when these guys will blow up, right? You never know when they'll be publishing the book that you love and is the one that you will tell people about. So this is really cool, and it was really kind of them to send me stuff. So they sent me The Descent of the Dead here. I haven't gotten around to reading this, but again, this is self-published stuff, or I'm sorry, Tango Comics are the publishers of this stuff. This one has a mature rating on it, so I gotta be careful turning some pages here. But I think that's mainly due to the violence. And then we have the Infinium. This is a bigger size book, as you can tell, because this here is the size of a trade paperback, and then this one here is like the size of a magazine. So this is a volume 1 as well as this, and since I haven't read them yet, so this looks to be a collection of the Infinium books. Like Chapter 1 is from Infinium Issue 1, released in 2011. So a lot of these books have been out for quite a number of years. This was kind of them to reach out to me and see if I could read them and showcase them on my channel. So of course Of course I will, much like anybody that will send me their books. I'd be happy to. I'm not entirely sure what else they've had published, but this is the kind of stuff I used to read. Like, this is the kind of stuff I remember from, like, heavy metal magazines, and then going to comic book shops and people selling their self-published stuff. I love this kind of stuff. So, again, this is the Infinium. This is the bigger collection right here from Tango Comics. And this one retails for $34.99, but the size is huge. So thank you so much to Tango Comics for sending me copies of these books. The Kyle Pile. My buddy Kyle sent me this copy right here of SCP-5000. Why? This is by Discordia Publishing. He thought of me when he read this, and I said, alright, the graphic novel by Droberman, and based on SCP-5000 Y by Tanhony. I don't know if this is a video game. I don't know if this was a novel. I don't know what it's based on. But looking at the layouts of the artwork, looking at the colors, and reading just a little bit of the beginning, this looks really interesting. Absolutely interesting and up my alley. It looks like it's done through a series of journal entries. But the artwork is what really intrigues me so far. I don't know where exactly he got this from, but alright, I better stop flipping through there. Love this freaking cover, though. And the book that he got me that I was so excited, as soon as I got it, I picked it up and started reading it, is the Trick or Treat 10th Anniversary Collection, published by Legends Comics, based on the movie. So this is an anthology, and you'll probably see this again later this month. This, and of course, the Stray Dogs book that I read. But you have different talents in here. You have Mark Andraco, Mike Huddleston, Fiona Staples, who actually changes her style up a little bit in here. And then you have Todd Casey and Michael Dougherty, just to name a few of the creators that are all involved in here. There is a forward, and it all kicks off with this little character right here. So there are different art styles in here, much like the movie. It's all done in an anthology type of way. If you're not familiar with the movie, then this will probably be meaning a lot more to you. I had a lot of fun with that movie. I thought it was great. This has mature content in here, so just in case, you know, keep it away from your little ones. But then again, everybody's different, so I understand, you know, the maturity level of kids are a lot different, so it depends on what kind of parent you are. But this one is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Big shout out to my buddy Kyle for sending me this copy of a book I didn't even know existed until I opened the mail and he was like, hey man, did you get your book yet? I did. This was really cool, man. Next up is Superman and Lois Lane, the 25th wedding anniversary. And I did do an overview of this one if you want to check it out on the channel. I think my favorite thing about this was the fold-out page. Very classy. I'm so glad they kept that. Hopefully one day this stuff will all be collected in a big omnibus, but I guess until then, the deluxe edition's nice. And Batwoman. This was another book that I waited years for, and it's finally out in omnibus format. J.H. Williams. I've done a thorough overview of this, explaining a little bit of the story without going into too much spoilers. And of course, the build of this particular omnibus. Just click on the link above, or just look at the Omnibus Reviews playlist. Now, the folks at Gilly Writes Comics sent me this amazing collection of Galactic Rodents of Mayhem. They reached out to me as well, and this one's written by Gilbert Deltres and drawn by Sebastian Navas. There's a forward there, and this is their first collection, I believe. It's still an ongoing series, but you have anthropomorphic animals. You have this beautiful freaking artwork and the colors. I was hooked, man. I was hooked when he sent me some pictures. I was like, yes, do you have a collected edition of that? I'd love to show it off on the channel. And he was like, yeah, I'll send it your way. So I've not had a chance to read this, but as soon as I saw those pictures that he sent me, I was hooked. I was like, okay, yes, please do. It is a soft cover, but again, this is the size, the trim size of a magazine. It's bigger than your trade paperbacks. It is a beautiful book. You can get it through their website, I believe, or Amazon. So this is a sci-fi space opera inspired by the always awesome Saturday morning cartoons of the 90s. Interesting, the 90s. You know, 80s also had some kick-ass cartoons. But, yeah, this looks cool, man. This looks like something fun I would love to take time to read. One of the books I actually sent away to our winners, I think it was the Spider-Man winner, went with this. And then Melanie was asking me if I had a copy of it, and I said no. So right off the cheap graphic novels, I went to get a copy of Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, The Hunt for Harley. The 4-issue miniseries is collected in this magazine-sized trim format, which is the same format that they did the Batman Damned and Harleen black labeled line. Now the trade paperback, I believe the trade paperback that's coming out, I think it comes out later next month, is going to be trade paperback size, the trim size of a trade paperback. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. So it might be different, but you have Jamie Palmiotti, Amanda Conner reuniting to do another Harley Quinn story and featuring the Birds of Prey, plus some other guest stars in this 4-issue miniseries. Now, this one does come with a dust jacket, and this is what underneath the dust jacket looks like. And the book itself, it feels really nice. Like, it's not a smooth finish to it. It's not a smooth, glossy finish to it. So you can feel a little bit of the roughness. And not rough like sandpaper, but just feels different than most of your books under the dust jacket. American Gods slipcase, which I've done an overview of. If you want to click on the link above to see that overview. It's one of the most beautiful books I gotten this year so far. And 'tis the season. Vampirella Archives Volumes 2 and 3. These are the hardcover collections from Dynamite. So these have been out of print for a while. And the reason I picked up 2 and 3 was because I saw them at a local comic book shop. And I worked out a deal. Because, you know me, I like to haggle a little bit. But I just found out that they're all going back into press. So these books are coming back into print. That made me really happy. I hope they keep printing them, and I would love to do an overview of them. I love this stuff. This is through the Warren years, so the same people that did the Creepy and Eerie magazine. However, Vampirella kind of takes over the book, going from the host to actually being the main star of the magazines. There's also different stories in here too, so it's still an anthology. And I've only read Volume 1. As a matter of fact, I think was it 2019 when Dynamite sent me a copy of it. It was really nice of them. But I always wanted to keep reading more because I'm such a fan of this horror anthology series like Creepy and Eerie. Now, I don't think that her stories were reprinted in the Dark Horse era. I think, here's Volume 3. They both come with a dust jacket. They both have this nice Goyle, Uncanny Omar Talk Pretty One Day embedded gold finish to it. Really cool. Kind of like the Creepy and Eerie collections from Dark Horse. But what I was saying is, I don't think Dark Horse could have printed or did print the stories that featured her in their Warren reprints with Creepy and Eerie, because the rights are reverted to Dynamite. So, but this is the collections of Vampirella. The first one over there, Volume 2, collects magazines 8 through 14, and this one 15 through 21. And coming back into print, I believe as early as next year, so keep an eye out for these, as well as Volume 1. Volume 1 will be coming back into print, but I believe they're doing most of the ones that are out of print right now. So if you're interested in purchasing them, yeah, definitely check out, pre-order them. And I'm sure you could probably tell the covers are the only things that are in color. Everything else, like the stories, are all in black and white. What? Okay. Of course. It's a Warren magazine. Alright. Last but certainly not least, it's Deathstroke, the New 52 Omnibus. So, I found this through a Facebook group. Let's look at it under the dust jacket. I refused and fought not buying this because I don't even like the story, and I didn't dig this story at all. Tony S. Daniel. This is the beginning of the New 52, collecting Deathstroke from the New 52 era 1 through 20, annuals 1 and 2, and then the sneak peek Deathstroke number 1. So there was a follow-up to this done by Kyle Higgins. Kyle Higgins did the follow-up to this. And then, of course, we got Deathstroke, the Rebirth Omnibus, that big, huge omnibus. So this is the New 52 era of Deathstroke, written and drawn by Tony Daniel. Most of the stories in here. But later on, you get Tyler Kirkman. You do have Phil Hester doing some of the writing as well. Doing some of the co-plotting. And the main reason I got this was because, well, Deathstroke didn't get a lot of Omnis. Like, he hardly has any collections. Most of his collections are out of print and long gone. So, even though I didn't like this era, somebody was selling a used copy of it, so I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm getting the stupid Rebirth Omnibus. I might as well get this one. So that is the entire reason I got this one. Is it a good story? No. Does it have kick-ass artwork? Absolutely it does. It's just a different type of Deathstroke that I wasn't used to. For some reason, he's just almost like a barbaric type of hunter. He's not a tactical type of character. There are some hit-and-miss stories in here. I'm not going to lie. There are some pretty fun hit-and-miss stories, but it's mainly the artwork that really drives this particular collection. Hey, the Red Hood. I also ended up picking up that omnibus a few months ago because, yeah, that type of a completist. But as you can tell, yeah, this is what the artwork looks like here. James Bonney now doing the writing, and Tyler Kirkland drawing the issues. Not sure if there's anything in the back. Let's find out. So we do have some variants back here. Actually, all the variants are kept for back here. I think I ended up giving away my trade paperbacks of this stuff. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd want to reread it. What the hell's wrong with me? That's a Neil Adams piece. That's nice. And that is John Romita Jr. There's the cover pencils to issue number 1, the inks, the alternate cover, and this is the alternate page 20 to issue number 1 with the inks. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing some of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsors. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for your Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries, extremely careful and sturdy packaging, emails are answered within 24 hours, and they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. And that was each of the books that I picked up in the month of September of 2021. If you have any more questions or if you have comments about some of these books, let me know in the comments down below. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, everyone, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.